Doctor Who Season 4, Episodes 23 to 26, titled The Moon Base. And this is a 4-part story where 2 out of the 4 parts are anime recreations, mainly the even episodes. Part 1 and Part 3 are completely animated. Clearly, those are the ones that were missing from all the tape recording that the BBC did back in the day. And that parts 2 and 4 survived. And I will say this, like, this is the one with the second Doctor meets the Cyberman, right? Which is kind of weird knowing, like, 2 Doctor Who videos ago, I covered the 10th Planet, which is their introduction, but because of missing episodes and 10 naps, which I have decided not to cover, just because I feel it's a little bit unfair and not giving the story its due and its fair shot, that we're back with the Cyberman again. I was like, is the next one gonna be a Dalek story or something? It's like, no. It seems like the next story is gonna be nothing but giant ink sets by the looks of things. So another 4-part story, but it's an industrial assignment, which you're for the second Doctor. And it's an anime recreation that came out in 2014. And I would say this, it's a hell of a lot better than the Power of the Daleks animation. Because the Power of the Daleks, the biggest thing is because it was so stilted. It was so stilted animation. And you could tell, like, example, Patrick playing the Doctor is very... When he's playing the Doctor, he's very fluent. He's very energetic. A very energetic performance. And the animation clearly wasn't fitting with the audio and clearly from the performance itself. And the only ones that had really full-on movement were the Daleks. But, that's kind of limited. It just turned ahead and moved the guns a little bit and them sliding across. That's a well-done animated Dalek. So, it's not nothing there. With this one, there's fluid animation. I mean, the big ones are probably when the Cybermen are walking. They're walking on the moon, and there's like 10 of them, and they're marching towards the moon base, and they're like marching forward, and you can see how fluid they are, and how energetic they are, and it's just like, this is a hell. Like, it's one of those things, like, they did it when it was needed. When it was 2 people having a regular conversation, maybe not. But when, like, the Cybermen were doing the thing, or when the Doctor starts being all energetic, that's where they really, like, crank it in and really make it so fluid. It's like, I really do prefer this animation versus the Power of the Daleks. The story itself, like the story of, like, the TARDIS, because whatever happened in the Underworld Menace, the TARDIS is being amok, arriving on the moon. The Doctor's like, okay, we'll aim for Mars, and Polly and Ben and Jamie, who's a character who clearly was meant to be met in the Highlanders, which I was kind of looking forward to, just so I could make Highlander jokes and Queen jokes, and there can only be one. I was kind of looking forward to that, but apparently that is a missing episode. And it's audio, and which hasn't got recreated yet. But with the power, but the TARDIS arrives on Mars, or on the moon. And the Doctor's like, oh, one place. We'll just go back to Mars. We'll land things here. I'll fix things. And the 3 of them are like, we're on the moon. For goodness sakes, we're in the moon. Like, we at least kind of explore a little bit. It's like, okay, 30 minutes. Put a spacesuit on. It's not the orange one. That I will wear on my 10th. 10th and 11th. And 12 incarnation onwards, but this one with the little space, the little, like, eye goggle things. I'm like, why do you need eye goggles? You have this, like, space dome thing. You have a fistbowl for a helmet. You're Mysterios, a clear Mysterio, where you can see the face. But they start walking around, floating on the moon, and they find this moon base. We're in the year 2017, which I probably would be dead by then, and that's a horrible joke, just made. But 2017, but there's this virus going around, where there's these black veins, like symbiote type veins are going on to their body, and we find out it's because of the Cybermen. And I do like the designs of the Cybermen way more than they did in the 10th Planet. They do feel a little bit more what we know from them to be a little bit, delete, which I don't quite. Was the whole delete thing more of a viable thing? Was that pretty much a Watson G. Davis type thing that we kind of just tacked on and we just think Simon will say, deleted their version of exterminate? It's like, is that basically what it is? I think it's basically what it is. I do like how they look. I love how the Simon bumped the table where he go off the hospital bed. I kind of like that. But it's always funny things, right? But the thing is, I'm not a fan that its voice. That's the thing. I'm not a fan of the Simon Man's voice. It's a little bit just, it's basically this weird like pitch thing. I'm not a fan, but I do like the designs a little bit more with the Simon. But the thing about the story itself is it's one of those stories where when you're with the Doctor and with the companions, it sings. And the Cybermen, and they're pretty, and the Cybermen. When you have the characters that we recognize and the characters that we are known to seeing, the story sings. When you're with, which is a good 70% of the story, when you're with the rest of the crew, it's kind of boring. Like, I think just because, like, they're your generic Doctor Who moon-based spaceship, type of personalities, and they're not that engaging. They're not that interesting. To the point that it is a bit of a slogfest. It is a little bit of a slogfest to go through, just because of that. And that's a shame, because when we're with the Doctor, when we are with Polly, even though there's a couple of lines like, Polly is there with Jamie because Jamie gets affected as well, and Polly is standing by his hospital bed, and I was like, okay, that's fine, it's fine. But then this line comes along of like, let me help. No, and then Ben goes, no, this is a man's job, and then she just gives. I'm like, wait, her whole thing in this is hospital bed and bringing people coffee. Hospital bed, bringing people coffee, and it's a man's job. Like, yeah, there's a couple of things in this that wouldn't fly today. But definitely, it's a good game. It's a good game. But like, when you're watching shows and movies from, so many decades ago, and you can say the words, that would not. You can't get away from that. I mean, I'm, doing James Bond watch-alongs. There's a number of moments where I can go, I love this franchise, I love this series, and I'm happy I will watch them. But it's clearly you just have to say that those were at a different time. Repeat, people from my age who don't understand that there were things that came out before you were born, and will say, we need to cancel this, pretending that it came out today, not yesterday. Oh god, they came from a different time, like Gone by the Wind and such. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I find, and it's the first time that the Cybermen electrocute people, not to death, but just, knocking out people and that. I was like, did they really put electricity? Did they really put electricity into little sparks? Because it looks like it does. But yeah, I find the episode, yeah, I find the story kind of dull because like 70% of it is not with the main characters. That kind of makes the story kind of work more better than it does when it's not, which is the crew. The crew is boring. Okay, the crew is a boring bunch of characters.